Ben, and I will discuss amino acid. So another amino acid is called glutamate. So we discussed before glutamine, which is glutamine. There's no other names than the glutamine, but there is something is called glutamate, which is a glutamic acid. So this is the acidic form. So when you hear glutamate that is end with the 8, that's mean it's a glutamic acid. So the nickname is different. Glue, that's no trick here. Glue, there is no n, but if it's a glutamine, then there is n, but the initial is e, the glutamate. So is e. Okay, this is the carboxylic group, the central carbon, and the amino group, which is the central form of any amino acid, then the side chain. As we look here from the side chain, we have 2 carbons, but there is no amide group here. There is a carboxylate group here, so there is no H here. So this is the carboxylic form in the end, and there is no amide group in the glutamic acid. Some important point that is very hydrophilic, acidic form, and usually negative. So I put H, that means sometimes it bonds with the H, or that means it's hydrogen bond, but there is O in the negative. So it's a very hydrophilic, glutamine also hydrophilic, but it's acidic form and usually negative. What is so important about it that the sodium with the glutamate that is lead to form monosodium glutamate, which is the salt form, and you will hear a lot about something is called the monosodium glutamate. That's why I mentioned it here. That's like some basic points that you have to know about the glutamate. Another thing about the glutamate, with the H, then it forms a carboxylic or the glutamic acid, carboxylic acid group, and the glutamate carboxylate group. That is the difference between a glutamate. If there is H here, then it's a glutamic acid. Okay, and this the group is known as carboxylic group. So the carboxylic group, when there is H here, but if there is no H here, then it's known as glutamate, and this is known without H, carboxylate group. It acts as the conjugate base, depronated, that's mean no H. I said no H, it's known as carboxylated group. Its name is glutamate, depronated. It's a part of a neurotransmitter, the major nitrogen donor in the metabolism. Glutamate with the urea cycle that is formed the urea, and we will discuss later the urea cycle. Non-essential amino acid, that's so important to discuss because we said before that the glutamine is essential amino acid and we have to take it from the food, but the glutamate is, or glutamic acid, is non-essential amino acid. That's mean the body form it by itself, and the other thing that is polar. So that's all about the glutamic acid or glutamate, and now we notice the difference between the glutamate and the glutamic acid. That is the difference, it's just the hydrogen bond. Without hydrogen, then it's non-glutamate. With the hydrogen, then it's a glutamic acid, because the glutamic acid just a proton donor, a hydrogen donor. That's why with H is called a glutamic acid. And there's in the nickname there is no trick here, just glue, the first 3 letters, but the initial is E. With the glutamine, there is a trick in the nickname is a GLN, and the initial is Q. So by this we can know what is the difference between the glutamate, glutamic acid, and the glutamine, and we know both of them. Thank you so much for listening.